So welcome everybody to the first session of the Quickstart program. This is a program for agents onboarding into our company, but it's also a great foundational program in order to in the first session, get connected with all our Century 21 systems, Century 21 heritage systems, and make sure that communication and knowing that things are all hooked up for you. And then we'll move forward, making sure that you do have a great buyer presentation. Make sure that you have a business plan, as well as know how to construct an offer, putting in your first offer, having a listing presentation, and finally listing a property. And these are all the basic functions of these situations. So meaning we want to get you up and going with a great listing buying presentation, know the processes. All the honing of your skills should be done in future seminars or other seminars that specifically target those areas. So to do it at a different level. But this will give you a great overview of getting up and ready in the industry. The very first thing that we want to make sure that everybody is aware of is that we are a Google certified company, which means all of our Century 21 products and services and tools are hosted on the Google platform. So that includes giving you a Century 21 hosted email address, etc. So when you log in to Google, you're going to go to google.com. And if you have a Gmail account, you're probably aware of, on the right-hand side of your screen, your account that you're signed into. So in this case, I'm actually going to be signed into something called heritage.drive at century21.ca because I've made Heritage Drive a student in my Google Classroom, and I'm going to get to that, don't worry. But I am now signed in as Heritage Drive. We'll pretend this is a person. That is, so double check, make sure you're signed into something that does say at century21.ca. If you're not, then you're not going to have access to all the business suite of tools that Century 21 gives you. Century 21 gives you the full Google suite with docs and slides and sheets and YouTube. All of these are not just access to these apps, they're signed in cloud access to those apps. So when you're in the docs and slides and sheets and YouTube and all this sort of stuff, it's associated with that account. So use this as your professional account, your business account with Century 21, and keep it separate from all your personal stuff that you do with sheets, slides, and docs. It will separate it for you. It is a fantastic system. So some of these basic tools are all on here, as well as when you go right down to the bottom, you'll have access to all the Century 21 Canada tools, okay, and Google Classroom. And I'm going to get to Google Classroom. The Century 21 tools that are in there is 21 Online, which is the Century 21 global site, Back at You Media, which is our social media. We've got Campus 21 TV, which is Century 21 Canada's training center. Then we've got Hub 21, which is Century 21's website and CRM that they provide you. Okay, it is a franchise-owned site, and they give that to you. We have obviously our Remarketer system that I'm going to show you that is more localized, and we're going to get you up on that. Real Satisfied, which is your reviews, your production tracker, which gives you your production throughout the year and keeps you up to track where you are from an award standpoint, as well as their resource center for Century 21. So these are all Century 21 Canada single sign-on tools. So you don't have to remember all these passwords for them, okay? The one thing that we've added to all your accounts is a Google Classroom, okay? That Google Classroom will host Quickstart program for you, okay? So if you have kids and you're used to the Google Classroom, this is going to be your platform for Quickstart. In order to have access to Classroom for Quickstart, especially with Quickstart 1, as you see here, you will need to be invited and you will need to be signed in using your Century 21 email address. And it can only be accessed through Century 21 email address. Okay, so it's not for the general public. If anybody's watching, you will not have access to this. However, I am going to go through the presentation today, so you'll be able to see it. So as you can see, this person has access to Quickstart 1 because I have invited them. My picture is there because I am going to be the coach, the trainer, the mentor for you today. And your individual managers at each of your locations, whoever you're mentoring and coaching with, those are going to be people that will be able to invite you to this session. So you get in touch with your manager, they will hit the invite key for you, and this will now show up in your Google Classroom, okay? So I'm going to go and click on Google or the Google Classroom link for the TREB Quick Start #1. Now I do say TREB because we do have a quick start session for our RAB members. Just slight change with some of the slides with regards to the matrix system that they have. And of course, if you're with TREB and chose matrix, that might help you as well. But there's a few little things that are more the Hamilton board related. Okay. So in here, the only thing you need to really know and have access to is the classwork. Okay. So up in the top, just hit classwork and that'll give you a little tutorial. Got it. The presentation we're going to go through today is obviously in the presentation folder. This is the presentation. And then the other two folders can contain links. Those links are the different links that throughout the presentation I'll refer to, right? So as I'm going through the presentation, instead of having you, sending you links or having you find all over the internet where to get our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel or our access to our drive, it's all in one area. And those are the links that we provide, as well as any of the videos that we want you to watch as part of Quick Start 1. Okay, so I'm going to go into the presentation, click on the presentation, and I'm going to take you through Quick Start 1. So I'm going to make it a little bigger so that we'll fill your screen up, hopefully a little easier to see. So the introduction to the core systems we put in place in order to make sure that you have the connection with Google, your email address, your CRM, your website, and to the different tools that we have available for you. We're going to go through the review from the orientation, get you on the training resources. We are going to talk about start building your book of business right from the beginning. We know how important it is. Everyone's at a different stage and doing different things, part-time, full-time, all feed in or taking it over a year. So in the business, so we want to make sure that that we get you up and going as quickly as possible with your book of business so that you can start selling. We're going to look at the CRM, the Fintrac compliance that we have to do in order to be compliant with Fintrac, and the basic offer and listing process, just in case somebody calls you tonight and say, hey, you're a realtor now, can you put in an offer for me? And you go, oh my God, I haven't taken Quick Start 3 yet. Okay, so we're going to get you just to make sure that you have a little bit of insight as to what we're doing there or what you can do there. And in every session, we are going to have some homework assignments for you to go ahead and watch the videos, complete the training sessions, and come back for the next session all prepared. And you really can't move on to the next session until that first session has been done or the previous session's been done, because we need you to accomplish things. We don't want, this is not a training. This is not, taking an overview and just learning stuff. You need to complete things in order to have a proper foundation in real estate to get up and going. Okay, so welcome, congratulations. And if any of you are watching this for a second or third time, that's great too. This is always a great refresher and a foundation program to move forward as well and to get re-engaged. So let's do a review. Each of you should have had a great orientation with either your manager or the senior admin at the front desk. They'll go through, and they have gone through, just getting your passcodes, right? And sending you the links in order to get set up into the different systems. The very first system that we want to make sure that you can get up and set up is your website and your CRM, and it's on the Remarketer system. The Remarketer system is a very great central focused local website, as well as information center hub for all of your business. And when you're in there, you'll see all of our value propositions are in there. Okay, so which means any piece of technology that you want to get into is in the brokerage hub within Remarketer. You click on that brokerage hub, and then that gets you access to all our different systems. So this is a great all-in-one system for you, and we want to make sure you can get in there. Okay, watch the YouTube video on setting up and getting started with Remarketer website. That is in the links in the classroom. Okay, it is also on YouTube. If you want to Google it, that's fine, but you should have access to that classroom link as well. Okay, so we want you to watch that to get up and get set up and started if you haven't already. Okay. The other system that we want to make sure you can get access to is the Google Workspace, formerly known as G Suite. I've already shown you that at the beginning of this video that when you're over in Google, I'm just going to switch over. You're over in Google, top right-hand side, that's your account with Century 21 that will give you access to the full G Suite system. Your Gmail account will be in there also, and we're going to do a little test in the next slide. Want to make sure that that's set up on your phone as well, so you have full access to everything. Our Google Drive is accessed through either the Remarketer system, because in the Brokerage Hub, you can click on the Google Drive, or within Google Classroom, that is another link that we've shared with you as well to click on. That gives you access to folders where we share all of our information with you. So if you're looking for anything in terms of forms and sometimes even clauses and stuff that's maybe not in the standard web form stuff that we'll bring up later, don't worry, or training, access to pre-construction, commercial, all that sort of stuff. In the Drive, that's the folders. It's kind of like a folder in your computer that has access to all files. It's your files, but it's our files that we share with you, okay? So let's make sure together, and we typically do this one-on-one, but we're going to do this in the video instead, is to test that you can log into Remarketer. So I'd have you go over to the Remarketer, which is realtor.remarketer.ca, and the account and the sign up. Make sure that if you haven't signed up, that's where you sign up. Okay, it's not through Remarketer themselves. If you went through Remarketer, they're going to charge you, and we cover your account through Century 21 Heritage Group in that sign up. Okay, so it'll say free in there. Make sure you get that free link. The test number 2 is, can you log into that Google Workspace? So go in, make sure that you can log in there to Google and you have access. And then can you access that Google Drive, right? So when you're in Google, up at the top right-hand side, to get to all our files, there's a Drive link, right? Can you access that? Okay. One of the things with Remarketer, when you are set up and you have the system, you can go in there and see the Brokerage Hub. Listings aren't going to show up in your website until TREB allows it. You have to ask TREB to allow listings to go to your website. Okay, on all 3 systems, which is, not to get into technical terms, the way that you'll be able to show through a login and a lead generation sort of tool, but a login for sold prices and like the full access that you see on some of the high-end sites. And that's what we have provided for you. And so in order to do that, we need you to go in and do your TREB online agreements. Now, the nice thing is that again is in your Google Classroom. So you just go into Google Classroom, the links you click on that, and the instructions are there as well. We also have a instructional video as to how to fill out those online agreements. Or within Remarketer, for example, you can go to the support section, and it actually shows you as the second thing on their support training, the actual form that you need to fill in and how to fill it in and what to put in the different spots. If you have any problems with that, please let us know. We will help you through it. So our training resources. We want to make sure that you have the connection so that if you have a quick question, give them one of our managers. We're 24/7 focused on your business. So if you ever need to get a hold of us, we have 7 non-selling managers. We have 13 in our management team that will help you, and they're focused on helping you. So you'll get a hold of somebody, but sometimes you're just like, no, I just, don't mind going on to a little YouTube video and they'll teach you. So this is where you're going to get access to some of these training resources. Okay. First of all, make sure that you're signed up to our Facebook group. Okay. It's called the Century 21 Heritage Sales Representatives. Again, in the Google Classroom, right? It's a link that you can click and it will give you access. We just have to approve you to our sales representatives page. That hosts all of our training. Our training is always posted at the top of that for the month before. You'll also get an email, and it's also posted in all the offices. We have a lot of different ways that we show you what the upcoming months of training looks like. But that's an easy one for you, is the Facebook group. And then we do have our newsletter that gets sent out, as well as in the Remarketer system. We have the training calendar, which is in the Brokerage Hub. You just scroll down and you can see what's coming up as well as in the dashboard, the training videos, okay, with YouTube. So, and that is, again, one of those links in the classroom, but here is the link again. It's in YouTube. You can also search it. It's Century 21 Heritage Group Training. Subscribe to that channel, because all of our training, all of our videos, including this one, will be hosted there. So you can always review them. And there's a little search within there, not just when you go to YouTube, you type in the search bar. I'm not talking the search bar. I'm talking in our training channel. There's a little search bar within our channel. And if you're looking for a video that's specifically, let's say, how to sign digitally with Authentisign, or how to, put an offer on a cottage property, or, all the different things that may come up, check there first, because we have 192 currently videos that we've done, 193 after this one, that we have done over the last year. And we keep updating them and putting the newest versions on, so that you will have access to, if you're looking just for extra training at any point in time, to get that training. Okay. You will have additional training resources on the Google Drive. I mean, those are going to be more, flipping through files, rather than watching videos. It's all there as well if you're looking for that sort of stuff. Let's talk about building your book of business. When you start out in real estate, one thing that the Humber Valley course, or the Humber courses, no, I keep saying Humber Valley, but the Humber courses will teach you is, how to get out of trouble, how to stay out of trouble. Maybe some overview of, the differences between, all the system, just more of the, I guess, the in a book, what is real estate about, right? It is teaching you more of the, trying to think of the word, but not the practical, put it that way. So could you put together an offer today? Could you go on a listing presentation? Could you win a listing presentation, or deal with a buyer and some of their issues with purchasing a house? The confidence isn't there. What we want to do is make sure that, first of all, you go through our Quickstart training, have all that done, but we want to also show you how to build your business, how to actually start a career in real estate, not just how to get yourself out of trouble or make sure that you have the answers for your clients and customers. So what we do is we really focus on, and I typically ask everyone, where they think their business is going to come from when you get into real estate. And is it going to be from advertising, or is it going to be from, because you're going to call people or knock on people's doors, or what are you going to do with your business? And really, it can be divided into two sections. Okay. It can be new business, which is, going out and meeting somebody today and finding out they want to buy a house and help them, or people that already know you, trust you, like you, right? So what we want to find out is, well, how many people do know you, trust you, and like you? Because we know a statistical average of what sort of business you should be able to do from that list. And I always ask that list be addresses. So the people that you know enough that you know where they live, or you're at least willing to ask them, where do they live? Because you're selling houses and you need to go face to face, and you need to be able to drop by and see them and all this sort of great stuff. So that is going to be called your book of business. So your book of business is going to be people that already know you. And in Canada, North America, 85% of realtors' business comes from friends, family, past clients, people that trust them already. It's a lot easier to get business or do business with somebody, or have somebody want to do business with you, with somebody that already knows you and not a complete stranger. Okay. The complete stranger business is 15%. So if you're going to focus on anything when you're first starting out in real estate, what are you going to focus on? You're going to focus on the 85% first. Make sure the foundations are built out with them. Make sure that you have systems in place to remind them that you're in the business. Okay. And then you can focus back over and look at putting other opportunities to meet new people. Okay. That will come with time. From the beginning, focus on the 85%. Okay. So start making a list. If you haven't done this already, of your immediate friends, extended family, neighbors, past career colleagues, contacts from organizations, coaches, principals, healthcare providers, anyone you've ever bumped into. If you see them on the street and they wave at you, they're considered part of your sphere of influence. Now, some of that sphere is going to be better than others. Okay. And we'll be able to categorize that. We'll be able to focus and build those relationships so they get to the point where they know you as their realtor. And we'll put in those systems in place, and you will see that business take off. Please do not make the mistake of going into your manager, coach, trainer, or other real estate agents and say, how do I get leads? Okay. Because what you're essentially asking for is, how do I meet strangers? Okay. That's not how you're going to get your business up and going and be successful. Okay. The very first thing you must do is look inside make the most of the people that you already know. And you may think they know that you're in real estate, but they will not remember unless you remind them. So there are certain systems we're going to put in place. So very first thing, start building out that list. Now, in order to do that, you need a proper client retention management system. It's called a CRM. Learn the analogy or the name CRM, because you're going to be CRM and SOI. Okay, sphere of influence and CRM are two of your biggest friends in real estate. And this is to organize yourself. Okay, this is to build your book of business. Our system is called Remarketer. It provides you with some automation, but it also provides you with an organization of that list. And what you're going to do is you're going to be able to do a ton of things with that, a ton. Everything that you ever do in real estate is going to come back to a CRM. And if you're using it effectively, I've used probably about 20 different systems. And I'm like 20, I actually tried them out. And when we created the Remarketer system, now we took a great platform already, but we also help them integrate upgrades to that platform to make sure certain things could happen, because we knew what a realtor needed. So we have done those upgrades. We have made sure that system is in place for you. What we need you to do is we need you to just go in and add your contacts. Okay. You can do it as a bulk ad, or you can do it individually. I like doing it individually, add contact, go through, call the person. There's a script I like to use. Hi, it's Aaron Richardson. I know we haven't chatted in a while. My apologies. I really want to get more organized and stay in contact with you. So I'm just updating my contact list. I was hoping I could get some information from you. And they will, yeah, great, Aaron. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, I'm just going to get is this your correct email address? Is the, whereabouts are you living now? I don't even know your address. This is, and I want to send you a birthday card on your birthday, and, have those conversations. See how I'm putting all the business up front? So make those phone calls, put those people into the CRM system, and make sure you let them know this is what you're doing, right? Well, why are you doing? Oh, I am in real estate now. I want to make sure I'm your realtor for life and all. If you have any questions for real estate, and if you start making those phone calls, and let's say you have 100 people that you're going to be calling and putting into the system, we know statistically going back up that 14% of that 100 people will look to give you business, whether it be themselves or refer you others, which means 14 deals. So 100 people get you 14 deals. So we know some of these statistics, but we can't help you with this unless we have an organized system. So add the people to the Remarketer system. We do have videos on this. Again, if you go on our YouTube channel, I think it's the second or third video on there is adding people to your contact manager through the Remarketer system. And then start putting as much information and make those calls. Okay. I really think that that's the best way to start off. It also gives you a great introduction to let them know you're in the business. It also, you'll be surprised. It's been great. I just love it when somebody comes back for Quickstart too and says, I've been making my phone calls. I already have somebody who's looking, or my neighbor, their neighbor's selling. I need a listing presentation. Okay, we'll go over to the listing presentation, get that ready for you. So these are the things that will happen if you start making contact. Okay. Make sure you do book yourself a next CRM training session. We have those on YouTube. It's always good to be in a session that's live, because you can ask questions and whatnot, but all those resources are available to you. Okay. And it really is the first step to building a solid foundation. Next session, which is Quickstart 2, we're going to tell you what to do with those people. Okay. So now that you start adding the people in there, I start saying, okay, these are functions that we want you to complete in order to start to remind these people and to build the relationships back up to where they really should be. Okay. In the Quickstart system, as simple as it may sound to a lot of realtors out there, when you're first starting out in the real estate business, we sometimes forget that those new agents, they don't even know, how do I book a showing, right? What's a lockbox and how do I get into it? So I'm going to go through that with you right now. If you do have your license with RICO, TREB, you are able to start booking appointments. If you don't have a TREB or a RAB account or a board account in order to get on and see this information, you could go to realtor.ca and just call the brokerage directly. Because you are a RICO member, you now have, as long as you're signed and you have your license with RICO, you can start booking yourself into buyer showings previews. Okay. With COVID and things are just going to start to open up a little bit again, you will be able to do something called a preview. But right now, it's really showings only, because people just want to make sure that if the person's interested in purchasing that house, that they go through the house. It's not for agents to browse yet. We used to be able to browse all the time, so we called it a buyer preview. And I wanted you to go out and see at least 10 homes a week, every week. So as soon as it opens up and you get out there, now if you happen to have somebody who's looking to buy a house, feel free, book a showing, and it's called a showing. So when you call the other brokerage, you're going to call, in this case, AIM Home Realty. There's their phone number down at the bottom. Don't call the agent direct. Okay, that was my mistake when I first started in the industry. I called the agent direct and said, "Can I book a showing?" And the property's like, "Dude, call the office. Don't call me." So okay, sorry. So call the office. Let them know I'm a real estate agent with Century 21 Heritage Group, and I'd like to book a showing. Okay, I've got a little script here. Hi, my name is Aaron Richardson. I'd like to book a showing or buyer preview for 58 Low Boulevard, and give them the time and date you'd like to go through. Very, very important that that time and date is respected. Okay, you cannot go through a property unless you are booking that through, or you're showing up during the time that you booked. And sometimes they're only allowing half-hour showings, so you have to only go between those that half hour. Okay. Also, you cannot ever let anyone know what that lockbox code is that they will page you. Okay. So what will end up happening within the system is you'll book that through, and don't worry, they'll show you with your course that you take with the board as to the specific technology piece in terms of how to book it online if you want to book it online. But you can call the brokerage direct. What'll happen is they'll call our brokerage to let us know, yes, that's okay to go through between 10:30 and 11. And then they'll page out the lockbox code. It'll also give you some other stuff, right? Like take off shoes, make sure you shut off all the lights, lock all the doors, don't let the cat out. They'll give you some instructions, but you'll be able to go to the property, meet with your client, and open that lockbox up and get access with a key in the lockbox. Okay, so down below, there are 3 lockboxes there. Now, the one in the very first one, hopefully you don't see those anymore. Okay, hopefully, but you may run into it from time to time. So it is like an old locker combination, right? And I always have to remember, write a bunch of times. You go to the S, then you go past the number once and go to the P, and pass it twice. And then the last one, no, pass it once. And then the last one is go to the last letter, I, going the opposite direction. What I always tell people is you won't remember it, even if you practice it in the office. If you're not familiar with it, sometimes it's just best to, use YouTube. You just how to open a lockbox, and then it'll show you. Also, there is instructions. If you just type in how to open a locker code lockbox in the image section. So if you just want to look at images, it'll teach us. So it is about going past the first number a bunch of times, hitting it, past the second number the opposite direction once, and then go straight to the last one on the last side going the opposite direction. So it's a little confusing, but I think all of us probably have used those from even high school. So now again, hopefully you don't see those as much anymore because they can be sitting fiddling around for a while. The second and third ones are just numbers and their codes. So you're either spinning the dial to hit the number you need to put in. If it's 1111, then you put 1111. You pull down the lever, the front pops open, you get the key, open the door, show the house, come back, put the key back in, close it up, and spin the dials to make sure that it's random again. Don't leave it at 111 because then the next person can get in. And sellers are very upset if they find out that somebody has access. So just make sure to reset that code. The last one is a push button. The push buttons, same idea. It wouldn't typically be 111 because as soon as you push that button, that's the only button that is pressed. You can't keep pushing one because it's pushed only once. So you push, let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, pull down on the little lever and the front will come off completely. Okay, so you'll hold on to the front of it and the key, open up the door, come back. And in order to get it back on, you need to hit the little reset. And then I believe you don't have to punch in the code again. You actually pull down. Actually, you do. You have to make sure that code has been pushed. And then you pull down again, put it back on and release, and it'll lock it back up. I always hit reset afterwards just to make sure, and it can't come off. Okay, so those are different ways to get into lockboxes. You can practice them. We have some in the office and stuff. They're not too hard, but that's why I always like doing previews. It was always nice when you can preview 10 properties a week. So by the 20th property, like you've got this lockboxing down, and the first time you show a property, it won't be awkward trying to get into a lockbox. But don't worry, you'll get the hang of it. It's not too hard. And if you have any questions, you can always give us a call. Fintrac. Fintrac's always fun. We need to make sure that everyone's compliant with our Fintrac policies. And Fintrac has to be done on everybody who buys and sells real estate. So please watch the course. As a new realtor, you're required to take it as a mandatory Fintrac course. You can go to our YouTube channel and watch the mandatory, or in our Google Classroom. It's one of the links on the video section. So click on the link, watch it. It's about a half an hour, just over a half hour. And there is an online form in there, okay? Or we have a printable version as well. As soon as you do watch that video, just fill in the online form. It's in the description on the YouTube video. So you just click on that online form, put in your information, and that way we have something on file to say you've watched it, okay? It is mandatory. We need to make sure that you're properly going through our Fintrac compliance, okay? So just in case somebody wants to buy a property tonight and you've never done that before, I want to show you what our company does to make that process a lot easier for you. Okay. You probably haven't taken web forms training. However, we do have that in our future sessions. Okay. Web forms is where all our forms are located. It's what TREB, as well as all the boards across Canada, provide you as a forms system. So when you go in there, we have template and we have buyer packages. We're going to talk about the buyer section first of all. So on our buyer package section, we have those packages in physical form at our office. So if you just want to go into the office, every form that you need to fill in with a buyer to put an offer in is in those packages. You're going to need, obviously, working with a realtor is the very first one. Form 801 is going to be in there. Your buyer representation agreement is in there, and then other Fintrac and all the different things that you need to fill out. So those packages are put together for you in physical format. Gone old school. Okay. You can also go into web forms as well. Okay. And web forms is something you'll need to learn. We have now created something called virtualoffers.ca. And if you click on the virtualoffers.ca, or go onto that clickable link, or type it into your bar at the top of your browser, this will give you the ability to just fill in the blanks. What that will do is we'll send an email to one of our offices, okay, and you get to choose which office, and that office will start putting together that deal for you, that offer for you. They'll also put all the forms and the buyer packages, and they'll email it to you. So if you don't know how to use web forms yet, okay, and you can't maybe go to the office and pick up a package, or you just want it to be a lot simpler system if you're techie, then this is a great system for you just to go on and fill in the information. If you don't know all the information that you're filling in, don't worry. You can leave certain sections blank. They'll send you the forms and everything to put in that offer, and then you can fill it in yourself. They'll make it editable. The very important thing to do is to make sure that have your manager look over your offer before you present to your clients, especially your first couple, and you're going to want to anyway. Have that manager look it over. I happen to have done my first offer at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when it finally got done. I was working full time, and I had a friend of mine want to put an offer in on a house, and the agent called me and said, "We have another offer, and we're going to be presenting tonight." I said, "Well, can you put it off?" I get off. I'm thinking to myself, I get off work at 9. I'm going to go over to my client's house. We'll put together the deal and have it done at 11 o'clock. So I said, "Can you present at 11?" And he said, "No problem, present at 11." And I got done at 3 o'clock. We ended up getting the house. But I had to get right up with the technology. Good thing I took the training and everything and knew how to do it. Okay. But having that support system and different options to put those deals together is very important. So take advantage of any one that you feel that you can do. Obviously, if you have more time, right, that's great, because then you can spend some time on it. You can review it with your manager and everything. And I think that's the best thing. So try and don't leave yourself to last minute on things, but we know how that can happen. When an offer is accepted and you're done, you're going to need to hand that into the office. The best thing is the fact that all of our front desks are full service. So if you came into the office and even the manager wasn't available, and said, listen, I've got all these things I need to hand in. What do I do? Our front desk will look after you. Give the manager a call. We'll look after you. But just to let you know, a sales information sheet, which is included in those packages, needs to be filled out. It's all the information about the deal. And then it's handed into the office with all the paperwork. If something's not quite done yet, maybe the Fintrac wasn't filled out right away, that's okay. We like it to be done all at once, but if for whatever reason, I'd rather have the deal handed in, missing things, and then we'll let you know what's missing. And then as long as you follow up with that in a timely manner, you'll be set. But that's the process, right? So you've got different options. You can get the paperwork, you can go on web forms, or you can do virtualoffers.ca, up to you. And as soon as you have everything ready and done, and you submit, you're done your deal, you submit that to the office. So that's the process. Okay, I wanted to let you know that we'll have your back on that, though. We're here for you anyway, so you can give us a call. And the same thing for a listing. It's the exact same thing, other than the virtualoffers.ca. We don't have virtuallistings.ca. Maybe we should, but I think it's pretty straightforward on the listing side of things, especially with web forms, with regards to filling out the paperwork and the MLS data forms and everything. They're pretty good. So we have those listing packages available in physical format, as well as going on to the web form system to fill everything in, and then you hand it into our front desk. We will broker load it for you. Okay, what that means, it's a term, broker loading. That means our brokerage will load that and put it onto the MLS system for you, and we'll make sure everything's filled in properly. Again, our admin is full service, so they'll go through and make sure it's all right as well, especially for the first two. Just book a time with the manager to come and show them all the paperwork, and manager will go through the listing, and we'll really help you with that. Quickstart 5 and 6 is all about listings, and 3 and 4 is all about buying, putting together an offer. So we will go into more detail on this. But I found that a lot of agents, when they're first starting, is like, what's your process? Where do I go if I need to do an offer or a listing or whatnot? So I thought I would definitely make sure that you know that there's a system for that, and we'll help you through it. Again, sales information sheet must be filled out with paperwork handed into the office when you do the deal. Both the buying and listing process described are basic procedures. More in-depth description will be given in future Quickstart sessions, as I said. Okay. So that's going to really get you up and going, but I want to give you some homework and takeaway just to make sure certain things are done. Okay. So make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Make sure you've set up your Remarketer website and CRM system, start adding people in, right? Both of those are available on the YouTube training channel. The Remarketer series of videos are all in sequential order, so you can follow the instructions how to use that and how to set up your website. And then make sure you get that authorization so you get listings on your website, so you can start promoting your website and get people searching for property on there. Preview a minimum of 10 homes. Now I'm going to talk about that a little bit. You should be seeing what's happening in the marketplace. You should really, every single session, we're going to be asking you questions, whether or not you know real estate. Okay. When it's great to have a CRM system. It's great to get out and meet new people and all that sort of stuff, but people are going to test your knowledge at some point in time. And you might not even know they're doing it. It could be just you're meeting them at a barbecue. And so how's the market? I heard you're in real estate. Oh, it's great. And if you just say that, it's great, that doesn't prove anything, right? So they're going to be like, oh, that's great. I noticed a buddy of mine's house just went on the market over in Sharon. And if you know the market, you can say, oh yeah, what street's it on? Oh, that's great. There was one that just sold around the corner from that. And it sold for X amount of dollars, or yeah, the market in Sharon, oh my, it's up 22% year over year. All that information and that knowledge will come from you browsing, seeing homes, what they sell for, using the MLS system. Our Remarketer system has market stats, and you'll find that in our training videos for Remarketer. So you'll be able to see the market stats. And if you attend any of our town halls on Thursdays, we always sort of go over those stats and talk about what's happening in the marketplace. So you'll be able to say that, yeah, Newmarket's up 28% year over year. It's actually 46% in the last 3 years up in price, and start to really get to know the specifics of certain areas that you're going to be working in. So this is super important. If you can't talk real estate, people are not going to believe that you're a realtor. Okay. Just to have a real estate license these days is not good enough. You need to really be knowledgeable. So start previewing, going and seeing, showing homes, but also just going on to your MLS system and going through all the properties in an area that you really want to know well. At a minimum of 10 contacts. We want to see 10 contacts in your CRM with addresses. So 10 phone calls, 10 contacts in your CRM. That's to get you to the next session. We don't want you to fall behind on this sort of stuff. So get that going. Watch the Fintrac video, fill out the form to be compliant, to know about Fintrac, as well as schedule yourself with Quickstart 2 with your manager. We are going to be doing this video again for Quickstart 2. I wish I had the date. Maybe we'll put it in the chat window if Tina's still there, but we'll be able to do the second quick start session by video coming up, available on YouTube. We're going to post this on YouTube as well. And then, or just schedule quick start 2 if you're doing a one-on-one, and everyone should be taking this one-on-one with their manager anyway. This is more of a review, but, or a preview of what you're going to be doing with your manager. And then we can focus on specifically your business. Not everyone's, I will tell you, actually, everyone's real estate business will be constructed different. You'll have a different business plan for everybody, but it'll still have all the same foundational programs. Okay. But sometimes we'll be able to, really look into maybe what you did in the past, how you can leverage some of the relationships and some of the people that you know. Maybe your personality style is very much great at door knocking. You have no problem getting out and door knocking. We'll be looking at putting that into a business plan. Or maybe you're better on the phone. Maybe it's you can do some cold calling. Those are very basic systems. The best systems are going to be the ones that are more creative, the more to get out in the community, to make yourself visible, and to start building real quality relationships. That doesn't just have to come from, a door knock and, hi, I'm a stranger and I want to know if you want to sell your house, right? So, however, sometimes those things work too. So we want to find out what works for you. So we'll do that one-on-one. The future depends on what you do today. I've put a lot of quotes throughout our Quick Start programs, and each one really relates well to the Quick Start session you're taking. And this one is definitely your future of your business is going to depend on the things you get accomplished today. Okay. Not just taking the session and saying, yeah, he's right. This is what I need to do, and then never getting it done. If you do not have a contact list that's organized, if you're not seeing properties and knowing what the market is happening in your marketplace, these are things, if you're not touching base and reminding people you're in the business, okay, you're not a realtor. Okay. All you are is somebody that has a license. Okay. And every now and then you'll bump into somebody and luck into a deal. And that's what people will do to do 1 or 2 deals a year. Sometimes they'll just luck into it. But what you want to do is build a great foundation to your business and make sure that you're putting in those systems. So you're doing that 14% or more of your sphere of influence to start out, and then you'll start building a great career in real estate. I will show you how the classroom works. So in the classroom, the connect with the links, it's easy as just to click on it. Obviously, this is our Facebook channel. So if you click on the Facebook channel, it'll ask you, I'm already signed in. So there's our YouTube, there's our Century 21 Heritage group. So you just hit join group. There's our YouTube training videos. Make sure you're subscribed, right? And they're all in great sessions. The very first sessions you should be looking at is the Remarketer. We've put the most important things up front. The Remarketer system. So there's the play all videos, or go to that specific playlist. Introduction, getting started, TREB agreements, using the contact manager, the brokerage hub, etc. So that's how that works. Okay. And then access to our folder. So if you click on the folder, it will go right into your folder. One thing I will tell you with the folder, make sure that you do add it. Okay. So the Century 20 Heritage group folders right here, and make sure you add a shortcut to the drive, or else it'll just be a shared with me. So you want it actually part of your drive. And then these are all our folders that we've put in there. The videos are also here, the videos to watch, the Remarketer sign up video, Fintrac with Peter Holgate, and the TREB data agreement for your websites. And so these are things we want to get you kind of up and going. I think also what I will do is I'll add in there, just adding contacts would be another video I want to add in here. so that you can add your contacts. So go to your YouTube channel and it'll teach you how to add contacts into your CRM system.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like our video, please hit the like button, the subscribe, and even the little bell to get notifications, just so you can stay in touch and watch more of these great videos.